just realized I didn't have a drink. My hair is fuzzy. I don't care. That didn't work. There. Hi, guys. Okay. Oh, you know what? Put this all over my table. All right. I have to go mute the TV because I have a feeling it's gonna. Oh no, it is muted. Oh, good. This probably isn't though. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. All right. Hi, guys. So I hope that we have some healers in here tonight. And it's okay if you're not a healer, but you're interested in healing, because that would, you know, it's good to sometimes talk about what happens and, you know, have some ideas on how to fix stuff ahead of time. So I'm, of course, going to talk about my problem today first, because I ran into... literally, this was the weirdest situation. When should you try self-reading with a new tarot deck? As soon as you get it. I always do. Do a deck interview spread on my, well, on Pinterest. If you go on Pinterest and just say tarot deck interview spread, there's like 12 of them that are really good. Okay, so what I want to talk about tonight is healing, and a specific problem first, and then we can go into, if any of you are healers, stuff that you've run into in your healing past, and see if we can brainstorm some ideas together of how to get beyond certain situations. So do we have, I know Danny's here, right? Did I see Danny come on? I believe, yes, I did. Okay, good. Thank you. I know it's like full of boxes still, and now I'm going to be moving again, so. But anyways, is there any, are any of you Reiki practitioners or healers in your own right? Or you've been a recipient? Okay, that helps, because then you'll at least know what we're talking about a little bit. Or if not, if hopefully you're at least interested in becoming a healer, because otherwise I don't know how interesting this whole video is going to be for you, but spiritual counseling. Okay, so most of us at least have done some kind of energy work, right? So I have to say, for me, I'm a Reiki master teacher. I don't know if I should say, like, spill my secrets. Not that there's, you know, there's secrets, but Reiki is an energy healing, and it's where you're dealing with the meridians, which is the energy of the body. And to me, I will tell you that when I heal, I have a specific routine, kind of, that I heal in, that seem like that has always worked for me, and it's part Reiki, that it's part the Reiki that I learned, and then it's part just what I have always felt, which is, again, one of my things is, if it works for you, it works. Well, a lot of Reiki, hi Hexen, a lot of Reiki teachers, and my teacher was great about it, I have to say. I have always been a person who hasn't been afraid to say, well, that's nice and that might work for you, but that's not how I do it. That's not how I feel it. So, and immediately I knew I was going to be able to work with my Reiki master, and which is why I went through her for all of my Reiki. I started with her with Reiki 1, And because of how she reacted and how I got through it, and I loved how she taught, and I loved her as a person, I wanted to stay with her, and I did throughout my entire Reiki master teacher, all of it. No, I'm not talking about the symbols. But they teach you like hand positions and stuff. It's very specific. When they teach you very specific hand positions and stuff. And I was always like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that hand position. That doesn't work for me. I kind of do this instead. Or like I remember in Reiki 1, like I have my fingers wide open, and in the book, and when they show you how to do Reiki, your fingers are together. And it says something like there's a purpose for that. Well, that doesn't work for me. So my fingers are spread out. And as a matter of fact, my fingers not only are spread out, but I'm constantly moving. And I always, when it's a Reiki day, I always am wearing bracelets that can jingle together. Because for me, there's something about the sound that helps the healing. Like I know that sound is clearing energy. So just little stuff. So I've been told by many that I'm an empathic healer and a spiritual counselor, but I've never been trained, so I probably won't be any help. But that's okay. If you're ready to listen and learn, that's good. So anyways, so I always have a routine. And for me, I start with a scan, which is what you start with anyways. And I'm trying to connect to their meridians. Now, for me, the meridian, it means they're about anywhere from an inch. Some people have really thick meridians, and you can feel it right away. It's the energy flow of the body. And most, at least for me, most people's energy flows the same way. Like anywhere that I kick into the body, it's almost like a river flow. And for me, it comes down each side, down around the feet. Some people it comes up in between the legs and then back down. Some people it just comes right around and then back up the other side and around the head. Ah, thank you, Luna. It's always worked. What I've done has always worked until today. Some people, now the more I do, the more I find anomalies, like for me, like, oh, I've never seen that before. Like I'll tell you, there's a special needs kid that I do, that his meridians start at his heart and go outward in an infinity symbol around his heart chakra, that's a weird thing. That's different. And it was, I'm trying to do my normal thing and I'm like, oh, this is different. It comes out from the heart. Which, that was really cool. And usually I start at the feet because for me, I want to ground, and I'm kind of grounding, I'm connecting to their meridians, their energies. But I'm also connecting to Mother Earth because everything that I do, I connect to Mother Earth because her energy is my healing energy. So I'm not using my energy when I do Reiki or connect to spirit guides or anything. I always am trying to use Mother Earth's energy or your spirit guide's energy or something because I've learned a long time ago somewhere that I didn't want to drain myself. I wasn't using my energy, right? You're kind of just connecting to some other healing energy to use that. So 99% of the time I start at the feet, I connect to Mother Earth, and then I come up and start at the root chakra and come all the way up and down and around the other side. And then once I've activated everything, then I kind of scan in, take care of pain stuff, any skips in the energy that I felt, that kind of thing. Okay, so the woman, that's the background. The woman that I did a session on today, I have done her before. And her energy, I cannot start at the feet. Like the first time I did her, I tried to start at the feet and ground to Mother Earth and stuff. And I couldn't do it. Like I could feel it just wasn't connecting. And I'm like, what the hell? So I somehow figured out I needed to start at the head her connection was connected to spirit and not to earth. And even though I find my energy normally from earth, her connection starts at the head. I've never had another client that happened, that I had to switch up my entire thing and go to the head. Never had that before until this woman. So I had to start at the head, and I activated crown chakra and then came all the way through. And then once I got to her feet, then I could ground to Mother Earth and come back up and connect again and then feel the meridian flow. Last time. So this time I kind of forgot for a minute. I went down to the feet and I'm like, oh yeah, this isn't going to work. You're the one I have to start at the head, right? For me, most people are at the feet. Now, Trisha, this is why I'm like, I hope there's other healers on there. I honestly, this sounds so bad. I don't ever, you know what? No, it doesn't sound bad. I have always had, at least as far as witchy stuff and healing and that kind of stuff, I've always had enough confidence in myself that I don't really look at what anybody else does. I know what I do works. So I have no idea. I don't know what any other person in any of my Reiki classes ever did, because I didn't pay attention because I was so focused in on what I was doing that I don't know how other healers heal. I have no idea. I know how I teach, and when I teach, that's what I teach, because that's what always works for me. Always works for me. So I have no idea if other healers do that. Danny, I know you're a Reiki master teacher. Do you ground and stuff first? Do you like go through chakras first? Do you feel meridians first before I tell you what happened and what was wrong? Yes. Their guides are your guides, exactly. So, and most people are the same. Now, a lot of people have little quirks. I've had a lot of people that, have very intense, strong third eye chakra energy. And you're like, ooh, I do a scan of the body from head to toe and then go back up. Okay, so you normally start at the head. For me, I want to ground them, and then I've always started at the head after scanning. So I'm weird. All right, I get it. Okay, so here's what happened. And I was like, what in the fuck is going on? So I go up to the head. I realize, oh shit, yeah, you're the one I got to start at the head. So I go up to the head. Did a quick scan. I could tell. I said, you're having some different back pain than you were the last time you were here. It's gotten a little lower, although it's still where it was too. So, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. So, okay, I know in my head I got to do some back pain kind of stuff and get rid of some of that, connect everything again. So I'm starting at the head. I'm activating crown chakra. And I always go the same way. And I don't know if it's just because I'm left-handed and that's the way I go, or that's the way I feel the meridians flow. I don't know. So I'm going all the way down. I'm activating as I go. I stopped, and it's how your guides have trained. Yeah, exactly. And I know that. And I have perfect confidence in my healing ability because I know it works. And I know like most 90 at least percent of the people, 99% of the people have always been like, oh, that was really good. And I know by now, I know that what I'm doing, that I can feel the energy, because I always know when there's a skip in the energy. I'm always like, oh, okay, knee problems. Have you had this knee has had problems, or this? Have you had your appendix out? Because then be careful then, something. I'm pretty good about that. So anyway, I'm activating. I'm kind of taking care of some of her back pain on the way down. I'm activating. I get down to her feet, and I do usually I do a little bit of a meditation, depending on how long the session is. Like if it's a 15-minute session, it's a lot quicker, but this was an hour. So at the feet, I normally do a little kind of meditation with them so that how I get them to ground is I always talk about, and if you've seen my channel enough, you've seen probably or heard probably that I talk about roots coming out of your feet, and growing down towards Mother Earth. And at the same time, Mother Earth's roots are coming up to meet you. And at some point in the earth, you meet together, the roots wind around each other. So now you're connected to Mother Earth. And then you take a breath and release what you don't need. Release everything that's no longer needed. Mother Earth will take that. She then takes that energy, transforms it into good energy that you need, and gives it back to you up the other leg. And usually I can feel as soon as that release happens, that crap, anything they're holding on to drains, and I can, pull extra energy up and push good healing energy up through the other side, and then continue the loop. Okay, so I get to her feet, and I'm talking about grounding. I'm like, okay, so you're feeling, and she's done this with me before, you're feeling the roots coming out of your feet. And they're kind of like, I'm not really feeling the roots come out of her feet, but I'm a little bit. Okay, I'm like, so, and then you're feeling Mother Earth reaching up. I'm reaching up. And reaching up. No connection yet. I'm like, what the hell? And then I suddenly feel like, I don't know how to describe it, like a tear in her meridian or something. And through her toes, all of the energy that I am now channeling through her head, down the left side of her body, is shooting out of her toes. There's like a tear in her meridian. And it is shooting out of her toes, and there is no way I'm going to get her to ground because I cannot direct this energy. It is like flying out of her toes. And and I'm thinking, what the fuck is this? Oh my God, what the hell? And I'm like, okay. So now I'm like, okay, so I'm putting extra symbols in there. I'm like, okay, come on, Mother Earth, where are you? You may have to come all the way up and meet her up here and all that. I'm like, what in the world is going on? So then I'm like, okay, so thank goodness, here I am in a crystal shop. Woohoo, right? So I grabbed, I'm like, give me 1 second, I'm going to grab a stone. I went and grabbed big black tourmaline palm stones. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to stave this off a little bit and see what I can do. Do you think she could have had some trauma? It's possible, but I was trying to figure out, why the hell is it when I'm trying to ground, when I'm trying to connect to Mother Earth, all of a sudden there's this tear, and I'm like, what in the world is this tear? So I grab black tourmaline, and I'm like, okay. So, and then her toes start to twitch a little. And she's like, what in the hell? She says this. Now she's laying on my table. There's Reiki music playing. She's like, what in the hell? I'm like, yep, I know, I'm on it. I'm working on it. I'm like, you just don't want to ground today. And she's like, it's all coming out of my toes. She says this to me out loud, and I'm like, yep, it sure is. And it's not like it's draining her. Although she said it's like uncomfortable. It's like shooting out of her toes. And I'm thinking, what in the fucking world is going on? So I'm like trying to close this energy tear. Nope, the black tourmaline isn't really working. I'm like, okay, red jasper, and then I'm searching. I'm like, I go out. Cassie has a customer out there, pent up. She couldn't hold it all in. I don't think it was all hers, because now remember, I had started at the head, so I'm pulling, yeah, like she's a conduit or something. And I cannot direct this energy for nothing. So I had connected to crown chakra energy. And so the crown chakra energy connects to the divine, whatever they feel divine is. And that's flowing through the left side of her body and shooting out of her toes. Sarana, you've heard of this? Oh, good. Shooting out of her toes, and I can't get her to ground at all. Yes, I've had some weird things, but not like this. Most of the weird things I kind of intuitively could figure out what to do with it. This, I could not direct this energy. I couldn't stop the energy. I couldn't. So I went out to grab a different stone. And I said to Cassie, hey, if you get a chance, can you look up for me what can heal an energy tear? She brings me 2 pieces of chalcedony. She says, the book said chalcedony is good. Okay, I'll try anything at this point. So I am down there for a good 15 minutes. Like, trying to heal the tear in this. And I'm like, okay, so I'm like, this just sitting down here trying to ground is not working. So all right, I'm going to give up on the grounding and I'm going to try to whip it back around. So at least maybe I can create a loop so that it comes back up the other side at least. And then hopefully like her meridians can start to heal themselves, like heal her and heal each other and whatever. So it keeps going, at least it keeps going in a loop. So I'm like pulling this energy. Like I feel like, I don't even know how to describe it. Shooting out of her toes. I feel like I'm pulling her energy like a tug of war with this energy, trying to pull it up the other side to try to get it back up to connect. And I am just killing myself because now I'm really using my energy. I can't use this energy. I can't connect to it enough to control it. I'm just like using everything I have. I need supernatural super glue or duct tape. Exactly. I'm like, what in the fuck am I supposed to do with this? I cannot pull it. I mean, for a little while, I did a little bit. Like, all right, I could feel it flowing back up. And I'm like, okay, it's flowing up. I'm like, it's not all of it. Some of it is still like shooting out your toes. But I have a handle on some of it and I'm kind of pulling it up. And we're getting up to, her back pain is kind of lower back and then up underneath her shoulder blades and stuff. I'm like, okay, so hopefully if I can connect everything, then we'll work on your pain. I'm thinking, I guess. I'm pulling it back up. I'm pulling it back. My teacher deals with this. What happens is she brings the person to her healing place on the astral. I didn't even think of bringing her to mine. And often deities will show up to help her fix it. Sometimes they need actual chakra transplants. Shit. Well, I'm going to have to read up a whole lot and see if I can find a healer who can help me. So I'm all right. So I'm coming back up. I'm kind of reconnecting on this side and I'm about her shoulder level. And I'm like, okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. And she's like, oh yeah, okay. I can see it's starting to come around. I can kind of see. I get to about her shoulder and I lost it. It like, bam. It was like I like to think of it like a tape measure. When you let go of the tape measure and it goes shoom and comes back in. That's like I lost hold of it or something and woof, it whips back down. And I'm like, oh shit. I can't even figure out how to get to the astral. I just keep getting scared. You may need a guide to help you get there. So that you feel comfortable, honey. When you're meditating, try to practice at least sitting up or lifting your arm up out of your body. That'll help if you can try to stay connected to start out with. Sit up, pull your arm out once you feel that kind of disconnection feeling. Try to lift a little bit more. So that way you're still connected, but you're not releasing your body. you know, even if you can keep one toe in and kind of look around a little bit, that may help you. The last Reiki I had tripped my brains out. It was wild, but a little scary. It took a while to come back. So it whipped back down, and immediately I was like, oh shit, this is, and now I've been working on this woman for like an hour, and I've got like 15 minutes left in the session, and it's near closing time. And I'm thinking, what the hell am I going to do? I cannot leave this woman like this. What the fuck am I supposed to do with this? I could not, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm totally at a loss. I'm like, I cannot control this energy. I can't stop it. I can't plug it. I can't direct it. I'm like, so I'm trying to I pulled out my obsidian arrowheads because I thought at least like they work for cutting cords. Maybe I can stop it here so it doesn't shoot like outer toes. So, and actually that's how I got it to come up, was I had 3 obsidian arrowheads, one at the very bottom of her feet, another one kind of pointed like on the way back up, and another one on this side pointing up this way. And I'm like pulling that energy up and around. And it was like I was playing tug of war. It was incredibly difficult to do. And then when it whipped back down, it was even stronger, and there was just no way. There was just no way to do it. The deities or guides present the transplants, and all she had to do is install it. I think there's a Reiki book called Hands of Light. I think I might have that book. Hold on. Actually, I think I might. Do I have my healing books right here? Please. Oh, wait. I put my healing books up here. Hang on. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. This one? Oh, I will have to find it. I hope this is the one. Okay, well, I will look it up. Hopefully it's in here. Because I'm telling you, I thought, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. So my little alarm goes off. The session is supposed to be over. And I'm thinking, I can't leave her like this. I remember there being a part somewhere about pieces of the chakra missing or broken. Awesome. All right. I will be looking at that tonight. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is, what in the world? I don't even know. I broke her. I'm like, Jesus, what in the world did I do? So I said, all right, bend your knees up and put your feet flat on the table. If you find a gem, please. Yes, absolutely. I will let you know for sure. So she bent her knees up, and that made it worse. She goes, oh, no, that's not good. Now everything's cramping up. And I'm like, shit, well, you can't stay here all night. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? So I said to her, all right, let's sit you up. Maybe if we sit you up and, you become more aware and stuff, I can at least try to, I gave her the 2 pieces of chalcedony. I'm like, here, take these. I gave her an obsidian arrowhead. I'm like, look, keep, like when you're sitting down and stuff, keep the obsidian arrowhead at your feet. Hold either tuck the chalcedony into your sock or in the bottom of your shoe or at the toes, something like that. I'm like, I said to her, honestly, I said, the only thing I can think of to start out with is if you can walk around barefoot outside. Because I said that at least Mother Earth will feel that. This might be a thing for hematite. Oh, that's a good, I didn't even think of hematite. I tried red jasper. I tried black tourmaline. I tried obsidian. I tried chalcedony. I can't even tell you how much. Did I try hematite? I don't think, of course I didn't try hematite because duh. So I said, hopefully Mother Earth will feel that, and I know she can heal it, if she needs to. So I'm asking Mother Earth for help. Please, please, if you feel this poor woman's energy, can you do something to plug it until I can get some idea of what the hell's going on? So she goes to pay me, and I'm like, I can't take your money. You're in a Reiki panic, so you don't always think of it. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, honey, I can't charge you for this session. I just can't. And she's like, it's not your fault it did this. Yeah, she's so nice about it. And I'm like, well, how do you know that? Maybe I fucked something up, Like for the first time in my life, I was not confident about my healing because I was like, this has never happened. I don't know what the hell to do. What did I do to this poor woman? And she's so, no, honey, it's okay. It wasn't your fault. And I'm like, I can't charge you for this. No, you can't. And she's going, nope, I insist. And I'm like, no, you can't. No, for God's sakes, please. Don't even think about paying me for this. And she keeps, it's not your fault. Oh my gosh. She insisted. I still feel like, I said to Cassie, I just know that we may be voiding that out. I feel like I can't in good conscience charge her for whatever the hell that was. So I said to her, do I have your phone number on your Reiki form? And she's like, I'm not sure. I think so. So I look at it. Yeah, indeed, I do have her phone number. I said, okay, and do you accept texts? Are you a text person? If I send you a text, because I thought, I don't want to talk to this woman. I really, really don't. I mean, I feel bad. I do. But at the same time, I'm like, oh my God. I don't know if I could do this. Because I have to deal with my mother tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day we have to go get stuff at my grandma's house. It's the last day that we are going to have access to that house before somebody else is going to own it September 1st. So on top of it, I have to deal with my mother and losing my, the family homestead tomorrow. And I've got to try to figure out what the hell I'm going to do for this woman. So I literally, I loaded her pockets, I feel like, I gave her chalcedony. I'm like, I feel, and then she tried to tip me. I'm like, no, honey, please don't tip me. She's playing on paying ethics. I know you're thinking about the energy ethics. I know. Exactly. To me, I'm like, you cannot pay me for this shit that I just did to you. And I know she's like, yes, but you performed a service. And I'm like, yeah, but no, no. And then she's like, nope, I'm going to leave this money on the counter. And I'm like, please, ma'am, please don't tip me. Oh my, for goodness sake, please don't tip me. I feel bad enough. And then you're going to tip me on top of it. Please don't do this. I can't even, I have never felt an energy tear like that, ever. And I have worked on people that have gotten energy tears, and I felt energy, but they had it coming in, or it happened in the midst of what we were doing, and you just kind of, okay, and I can plug it, keep going, pull the energy around. I've had other stuff happen, not this at all. Like, I didn't have a clue. I felt like now here, I'm a Reiki master teacher. I've been doing Reiki now for, do I have my certificates? Where the hell are my certificates? I don't know. A long time now. And I have never had that happen. So I'm so glad. I will be looking in this book to see if I can find it. And thank you so much, Sarana, because I had no idea. No idea. No idea what the hell I was going to do. How I was going to deal with that. So now that my problem is out of the way, right? Oh, see, look, auras finally made it. Hi, how are you? How are you doing? Hey, I haven't seen you in so long. I know. I think you've been busy on your end, and I've been busy on my end. It's good to see you, though. So we're talking about problems that come up with healers. Anybody else have anything that they have had come up, or anything they have a question about that I can answer, you know, from a healing, a teacher perspective as best I can? I'm so glad to see you too. Gosh, it's been forever. COVID has made this whole year cuckoo. Could you have tried to do Reiki surgery? Yes, I did that. I tried to stitch it up, and literally every stitch that I put in, like, tore wide open. I have never felt the strength of energy. Like I said, I don't think it was her energy. I think when I connected, for a long time I was like, I felt like because I didn't ground first. For me, the grounding portion of it, that's why I do the grounding first, 99.9%, because for me, the grounding part is so important, because when I get to, yes, divine energy, when I get to the crown divine energy part, I want to know that the client is grounded, that she can handle that divine energy coming through, that grounding energy is already there. So the fact that I couldn't do that with her, that there was just no way to ground, she was super connected to divine first. Did any transfer to you? I don't think so. It was literally like a super powered hose. Oh, I know, pressure washer. You know the pressure washers that you wash your house with that are like, that's what I felt like. And then trying to pull that around to try to reconnect it was like an impossibility. It was like trying to pull pressure washer water and hold it and pull it around. And it was like, hell no, it's not going to happen. There's just no way. And I don't think it was her energy. I think the connection to divine, I think, was like she was channeling that, and it came through, and it was too much for her meridians to contain, and it just shot straight through her toes. So in hindsight, now I'm like, I really should have closed her crown chakra. First of all, maybe that would have at least turned it off. And as a matter of fact, maybe that's what I'll try to do when we get off, is close her crown chakra. So at least, hopefully, that'll turn that spigot off. It was the weirdest Reiki experience I have ever had. And I've had a lot of really different experiences. I'll tell you, at some point I really want to have an ethics discussion about healing work. There's such, every day you become, when you're a healer, you become the counselor, you become the priest, you become the doctor, you become the confidant, and there's so many ethical questions with every client that you have, that sometimes you think, oh my gosh, what if I make the wrong choice? And I'm a pretty damn confident healer. I have to say, until today, I was like, yeah, I know I'm good. I know I am. And I still know I am, but boy, there's definitely some things I cannot do. Ethically, almost like HIPAA. Yes, very much so like HIPAA. Like, I'll give you another example. Within, I don't know, the last year or so, and Danny, I know that you are a Reiki master too. Have you ever felt a survivor of abuse? And there was a young man in particular that I knew from the sacral and solar plexus energy. I knew that he had been sexually abused and had shut some things off. And the ethical question comes in, what if he doesn't remember it and has shut it off on purpose, like his spirit has said, hell no. Hi, Tammy. And I'm not going to remember this, and has shut it off on purpose. And B, it becomes does he want me to heal that? Or is that too embarrassing for him to even bring up? Is that, there's always that breach of, okay, as a healer, I can feel this. However, I don't know how comfortable you are with me knowing this. So I can, kind of hint around a little. I can talk about how, you have some closed off areas in your sacral chakra. And sometimes we close off areas for a reason. So I've said to people, I'm just going to knock at the door and see if it feels like it wants to open up. But for me anyway, you did just become a master. I know, right? That's true. I shut it out from 5 years old till I was about 30. See, Linda? Now, and here's the question. Ethically, do you bring it up? Do you not bring it up? Do you try to open it up and heal it? Or do you leave it closed because they shut that door for a reason? And usually I can tell if they have purposely shut a door and they don't want to know. I can tell that. But you can, like this, I could tell this was a long ago trauma. This was not, had not happened within the last couple of years. So ethically, what is our go-to? What is our responsibility? There's always, is that something you would ask them whether they want to open it? Well, perhaps if I could tell from the feeling of the door, if I could tell if he knew about it, I might have asked him. But especially with stuff like childhood traumas and stuff like that, sometimes they have blocked that out and their psyche cannot handle that door being opened. So, and without knowing that, all I can do is kind of knock at that door and let it know that there's energy of love and healing and light. And, do you want to be opened or not? But if I feel resistance, then I stop. And if I kind of hint around a little bit and there is no, like if there's no opening up, now in this case, the young man was like, and that was it. He didn't say another word. He didn't say, oh, that's interesting because I blah, blah, blah. He didn't, there was like, For myself, I would leave it closed. See? And a lot of people would. They would rather not know. I got this necklace when I went to visit Frankie when he was living in Virginia. A couple years ago at a little shop in, where did he live? Right on the coast. There's a naval base close to there. Right on the coast. At a little shop on the coast of Virginia. For myself, you might be able to ask if they know what might be causing that block. If they say they don't want to talk about it, we leave it alone. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. And so ethically, I think you have to be ready to meet it again. Exactly. So ethically, there is an ethical conundrum, though. If you as a healer, now I've taught people Reiki who have not tuned in quite that much yet, that cannot really tell, like they close the door, that aren't quite tuned in that much. So it becomes kind of an ethics thing. I always talk about ethics when I teach anyways, but it definitely becomes an ethical conundrum if you can't tell if they close that door. So there is an ethical question of whether you try to open doors that are closed. If you can't tell if that has been purposely closed, it depends. It's definitely something that you have to think about ahead of time, so that when you face that situation, you know, this is what I'm going to do. Or at least trust yourself enough to intuitively feel what you're going to do. I love ethical questions with spirituality. There's all kinds of ethical questions with spirituality. As a tarot reader, there's completely different questions. Right? We get all kinds of questions that ethically, there's certain questions that I will not answer ethically. It's one of those rock and a hard place situations. I do healing too. I do chanting. I love chanting. For me, sound is a big part of my healing. I usually, when I know it's a Reiki day, I'm wearing at least like 3 or 4 bracelets with some kind of charm or something, because that jingle to me has a lot to do with how I heal too. Be flexible, not so rigid, right? Same thing as a tarot reader. What are your ethical challenges as a tarot reader? There are certain questions that I will not answer. I'm not going to answer or ask tarot when you're going to die. That's not a question I'm going to bring up to tarot. I don't want to be put in that position. I will answer lots of timeline questions if I can, or if tarot will answer, which we all know tarot is pretty fickle about some things. I would love to see what you get off of me when you're able to do Reiki on me. Well, Danny, hopefully next summer when we finally get to do Witchypalooza. No, who wants to ask that? I have been asked that, believe it or not. I have been asked that since the shop opened. I've been asked that. And I had to say, I'm really sorry. I don't do the death thing. I think unless you're a trained psychotherapist, you have to be careful about abuse issues. Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Absolutely. I completely agree. Because there is just stuff. Now, what's interesting to me too is when you do Reiki, you learn that Reiki can heal past life traumas. So you can go back to a past life and heal things from a past life that you're still carrying with you, which I think is super interesting. I personally That's okay, Tammy. I personally don't do very often unless it's something that they come to me with uh, purposefully and ask me about. I think that maybe I drowned in a past life, or I think maybe I have issues with this and I think it may come from a past life. Then I will look at it, but I kind of purposely try to stay in the present, at least in the present lifetime, as best I can. One of the things about meridian weakness sometimes has to do with diet or impurity. Absolutely. That's true, for sure. And I have found more little, I would call them meridian aneurysms, more bubbling, more weak spots of meridian in people who, you only eat junk food and are very sedentary and try, don't at least try to live some kind of healthy lifestyle, both body, mind, and spirit, right? My father wanted me to read when his death was going to be. My worst moment of tarot ever. Especially for your father. Ugh. Now, I have had the death card come up, and tarot readers, have any of you had the death card come up? And the first thing out of your mouth usually is, now that doesn't always mean what people think it means. It doesn't necessarily mean somebody's going to die. But I've had it come up where I knew, I think this might be someone close to them might transition soon. And so then you kind of pussyfoot around it, you kind of hint at, well, this doesn't usually mean that. Now, sometimes it does, but for the most part, it means a really difficult transition and blah, blah, blah. But I have had it come up a couple times where I was pretty sure that it turned, that was actually what it meant. If people get that feared look in their eyes, yeah, I know, right? So I appreciate your guys' help. I'm totally gonna read now and figure out what in the world I can do. And actually, first I'm going to, I think, send long distance Reiki and try to close her crown chakra, so maybe it's not like killing her on the way through. I cannot believe how much energy was coming through there, right through her toes. All right, if you guys would hit the like button for me so this gets shared more. I appreciate your help. Thank you very much. Keep me in your thoughts if you would tomorrow. My mother and I do not normally deal with each other very well, and it's going to be a stressful situation. Hematite, oh hell yeah, I'm going to have hematite with me. I've got it right in front of me, actually, a whole bottle of it. Keep me in your thoughts tomorrow. We normally just yes, exactly, put aside bail money. We normally don't get along very well, and it's going to be a super stressful situation. Hematite mirror, that's a good idea. With being the last time that we'll be able to be at our homestead, it's going to be a stressful situation for sure. We will definitely have a tarot ethics discussion for sure. From what I understand, whenever we forget things or cut off or whatever, we remember when we go through a life review, this is something you would ask a guide or their higher self. Definitely. Thank you. Take lots of photos. I might even do a video. I don't know if I'll do a live video or I'll just do a quick video of, the homestead. Could also be from past life. That's true. And it didn't feel like it was a past life, though, I'll tell you. And like I said, the only thing is, maybe, though. So I was going to say, it didn't feel like her energy, but maybe it was not this her energy. Maybe it was from a past life. That's true. I'll have to see what I can do. Yes, so Is there no way to ask the new owner if you could visit once in a while? I don't know. We don't. I believe that the new owners, the people she sold it to, are flippers. Like they're gonna fix up the house and resell it. And I asked my mother today, actually, if I could get some of the pine boards at least in the kitchen, because I guarantee. I said to her, I guarantee you that they're not going to leave the kitchen the way it is. It's very dated. This house was built in 1946, I believe it was. And then they added the kitchen part on in the early 50s, like 52, maybe earlier. And the pine board in my grandma's kitchen has been there since way, way, way before I was born. And to me, when I dream about my grandmother, which I do very often, my grandmother, my grandfather, and my grandfather's sister are sitting around the kitchen table in that kitchen, surrounded by these pine boards. And we have our discussions there. And I said to my mother, I really want some of those pine boards, like 4 or 5 of those pine boards. I would like to make a shelf or something from the pine boards from Grandma's kitchen. And she said, I know, I really would like to too. I'm going to ask the owner. And I'm like, okay, do a little more than ask them, because I know that kitchen is so dark. I know they're flippers. I know they're going to open it up. It's totally dated. I want some of those boards. So I wish I had taken doorknobs from my old house, because it got knocked down anyway. And that's what's going to happen with this kitchen, because it's so outdated. They're literally like pine boards that are on the wall. And she says, no, maybe the new owners will let you have them. Yeah, exactly. I know. If she says no, I might have to take a couple anyways. Because I was thinking the closet underneath, like in the kitchen, but underneath the stairs is a little closet, which I call the Harry Potter closet, because that's what it's totally like where Harry had to live, underneath the stairs. But that closet also has those pine boards in it. And I thought, well, at the very least, if she says no, I might take some of them underneath the stairs anyways. Because too bad. I don't care. If you take them and it's before closing, if they're made, they can just take some money away from your mom. Oh, if they're mad? Yeah. So I can't see them being mad. And that's why I keep going, oh, come on, Mom, give me a break. Because they're old and outdated. And to them, they're not going to mean that much to them. I know they're going to tear down that whole kitchen and open it up into the living room, because there's no light in the kitchen. There's one teeny window in the kitchen, and it's like behind this big island thing that hangs down in the middle, and we never get any light in that kitchen. It's always super dark. But those pine boards actually mean something to me, so who knows. All right, and I will, Danny. Thank you. I'll message you if I need some. All right, I love you guys so much. If the flippers, maybe you can make a deal to remove, their garbage drain. Yeah, that's true. It's going to be so weird. We all grew up. Take a crowbar. Oh, yes, that's a good idea. I'm sure I must have one in my car, but I know Peter will. It's just going to be the weirdest thing to not have people we're related to in that house. We all have lived there. I've lived there probably half my life, because when my mother kicked me out when I was 16, I moved in with my grandparents. We lived with them every summer. Then as an adult, my kids and I have both lived there several times. Thank you, Moonraven. I appreciate it. It's just going to be so weird that somebody else is going to live there. It'll be a rough day. But I love you guys so, so much, and I appreciate your help and your advice. And thank you very much, Sarana. You're in my thoughts. Good luck. Don't ask to visit. It will only be upsetting to see it transformed. You ask not your mom. She won't have you in mind. Yeah, that's true. I love you too. Yeah. You guys have a good night. Don't forget, Mystic Dragon Slayer is having a huge Crystal Skull sale Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So whatever time it is right now, it would have started a half an hour ago tomorrow night on their Facebook page. It's going to be awesome. These skulls are great. I love you guys.